Hello, a very warm welcome. I am Ranjit Tarel. I am the CTO and founder of CertifyMe.Online. In this tutorial, we will learn how can we easily create a credential and award it to your awardees. Now, once you have registered into our platform, what you would be seeing is a screen very similar to what I'm seeing. Except that in case you've not created any credentials, you would not see these rows of credentials or credential templates like I have. What you would be having would be only this button calling out as create a new credential template. Now, assume that you want to create and award credentials to an award program for an upcoming Women's Day event. Now let's call this event as certified superwoman, and you want to identify certain women in the industry who had a high level of influence and were highly influential in crafting the society. And you want to award them a certified superwoman certificate. Now, when we're thinking about awards, right, there are a lot of common things coming in it. There might be the name of the award, the reason why you're giving this award, a lot of these things, including the graphic that you might use on the certificate or the badge template that you want to create. All of these are common elements, and it would be same for all the awardees. So that commonality is what we call it as the certificate template. So once you create a certificate template, then you can issue any number of you can award it to any number of awardees or issue any number of badges or certificates using that template. So the first step was always to create a template. Now, in this example that we're going to take for Certified Superwoman, let us see how can we create a certificate template. The first step towards creating a certificate template is to click on this button, create a new certificate template. And you would see that you would be taken to a screen. Creating a certificate template is a four-step process, which is guided right over here. It's pretty simple. The first one is, if you click on it, is to update about the event details. Now, if it is a training program, then you will have to think about your training program details. If it was your award program, then based on that, you'll have to fill this. If it was a conference or a workshop, based on that, you will have to make this section, you should update this section. For example, my event name is Certified Superwoman, and credential issuing institution is, I'm going to call it as Quadralogics. This is my company name. You could also have your company name, or it could be a program committee that is awarding it. So totally up to you on how you want to call this. A write-up about the event, I'm going to call this, you can write anything related to why this certificate is going to be issued to this person. Whatever you write here would come across all the badges or certificates that you would be issuing. So this particular part is going to be a common element across all the credentials that would be issuing under this template. So you can talk about, for example, I'm just going to give a very small thing. You can write not more than 50 words, but ideally a two or three sentences would look good. More than that looks a bit too clumsy. So trying to see what you wanted to say about this event, or what do you say, why you talk about why you are awarding this in a generic way would be a good thing to do right over here. So right now I'm going to write I'm going to write that certified superwoman. I'm just going to write something so that it just, I want to illustrate it, but you can do certified superwoman is an award. Okay, so I just wrote it. Now in case you wanted to write, as you assume that certain times in credentials or certificates there is a signatory. So if you wanted to write a name for the signatory, or it could be a body, or it could be anything. So you can put that name over here. You can put multiple names also over here. So as of now, I'm leaving it blank. As you see that this is an optional field, and it doesn't need that I always need to fill in this. So once this is done, you can go to the next section, which is called edit. Click to edit the credential template. So till now, we have just updated the event details. Now you should have your credential template or graphic ready with you. When I say ready, it should have all the branding that you would want to have, and imagery that you would want to put it into your certificate. For example, I have already created mine. You can use Canva. Canva is a beautiful tool, though I am not affiliated with Canva, but Canva is something that I use across my certificate creation. It has got great templates and it has got a great UI. And the best thing is that it is free. So you can use a Canva, and if you're looking, or if you're looking for templates, they've got a beautiful set of ready-made templates on VS selection. So once I've created this template, now I would want to add my awardees' names, right? And I mean, it would have been a tedious process if I would want to create this certificate graphic for every awardee, because assume that I have 100 awardees, it would take a lot of time. So that's the reason why we have the selection, add awardee names on all credentials. What you need to do is that you need to give it, put it to a location, the right location, and maybe I want the font to be much bigger than what it looks like, and I want the color to be a little bit bluish so that it blends well with the other writings. And I can change the font over here. Assume that I would want it to be, say, Ubuntu font. I can change it right over here. I would prefer to go back to Alexpress because it has got this nice handwritten expression, which is wonderful for my certificate. So once I have fixed where my name is, and I have changed the font and size. Now, if there's another feature that we have added is with respect to verifiability. Often, certificates or credentials issued lack a verifiability, the physical certificates issued. So, whereas when you come to a platform, we offer a QR code. So, this QR code is a unique code that would be associated with every certificate. So what happens is, even if you take hard copies, print it down, put it into your resume, still there is somebody can come and scan the QR code and ascertain its verifiability. So once they scan the QR code, they would be taken to your credential page where all your credential details would be available, and one can verify. Like, for example, if HR was looking into your certificates and want to ascertain that you had received it, this is something that you can do. So it's an optional field. If you want to keep it, say, for example, I would say that I want to keep it over here, I want to keep it over here, you can drag and drop and put that assignment accordingly. So I'm just going to keep it right over here for our sake. Now we've created a template and we have added our name, and we have also added a QR code. Now, adding name and QR code are optional. Assume that you want to create a template without a name and your QR code, you can go ahead and do that also. But in that case, you would not be personalizing your badge. Your badge graphic would be same for all the awardees. But it's something that you can do. You can just unclick this option, two options, and then you would have a badge that would be same across all your awardees. The other option is to click to edit your advertisement details. So what we offer in Certify Me Online is a space. So if I go ahead and take an example over here, right? So if I go and take an example over here, you can see that there is an advertisement space right over here. And this advertisement space is coming after the credential. So this is a space when people share your credential in social media. there is a very huge chance that a lot of people are going to come to and click on this web page, and they would want to probably know how to get this certificate, or maybe it's a time where you can put your advertisement, or you can sell the space to your sponsors if you're doing a conference or an event. So it gives you a basic messaging space, it gives you a banner, a logo, and a call to action. And after that, you can put your email IDs or your phone numbers accordingly. So in order to create this space, it's again an optional field. You have a space where you can upload your banner. You have a space where you can upload your logo image, your website link, like what should happen when I click this logo. The banner message is the space where you're talking about what message should we give. For example, this particular message, right? It could be, in your case, if you want to drive in more people to your event or conference or training, you could give saying why should they be registering for this particular program or training event. Then the second thing is call to action. There is this button, right? What we'd call as enroll now. You can have enroll now, register now. So based on what action you need, sometimes you would want them to read a particular white paper or redirect it to your website. So correspondingly, you have to give the label name. Your call to action message. This is again different from this message, whereas you have a small summary message that you would want to give very quick, like go ahead and register fast, or you can give your discount coupon or right over there. So that's the message over here. Whereas the first message is the banner message, which is the bigger one, which we talked about. Then is the link, that what happens when you click on your enroll now. So this is the link that we are talking about. And then of course the sales and phone number and your email ID. So all of these, entire the advertisement section is optional. So if ever you want to advertise, then only you can use it. Otherwise, you don't need to use it. Also, you can create your credential, and at a later point, you can come and update your advertisement section. It would get reflected across all your credentials. So it's not necessary that you have to update your advertisement. In case you have one, you can go ahead and update, or assume that your sponsor wants to put their advertisement. You can go ahead and change it at any point of time also. We also have a quick preview of how your badge would look like. This is just a preview, hence you should not consider it as the final view, but this is just to give you a gist of how your badge might look like in our platform. Okay, so that's it. And now let's update this. So once you have been satisfied and you looked into your preview, and you've made changes accordingly so that it's fine-tuned, what you can do is you can come scroll down to the bottom, and you will see that update create credential. You should come right to the bottom. You should scroll down. This is the field this is the button that is there right at the bottom left of your screen. So update and create the credential details. So once I click on this, you will see that a new credential which I created is right over here. And this is the credential that I have created, Certified Superwoman. And once you click on it, so I'll go back. So once your credential is there, you can just click on it. Now, there are other options, like if you want to award, again, the same action is what would have you. By just clicking on this, you would go to the award option. In case you want to edit it, we want to change it, or whatever it may you wanted to make. Say you wanted to change the say that you wanted to make a subtler change in the name or the template or the name of the event or the write up about the event. Here is where you would need to go and change it. Okay. Other options is, if you want to duplicate it, duplication is once you create a template, you might want to create similar kinds of badges or things, and you don't want to redo the process. Maybe you just want to change the template and change the name of the program here and there, but the rest of the same. Here's a beautiful option to duplicate it. Here is a view option. This is just to preview the template, and please note that this view is only for previewing the template, and it's not the actual awarding badge, and nobody can see this, but only apart from you who have logged in. In case you want to delete the template, here it is, but you have to ensure that there are no badges awarded to it. In case you have any badges or certificates awarded, you will have to delete those before you delete. So these are the primary options. Now let's go inside and see how we can award a certificate. So the simplest way of awarding a certificate, I'm going to call it like Anju M. Dominic. I'm going to award it to her, is just put her name and put her email ID over here, and that's it. Now, email ID is optional, but in case you put the email ID, what happens is an email is triggered to the awardee, and she will be able to see that she has received an credential. But in case you're not providing the email ID, then it's your responsibility to make sure that you communicate it to her by sending the link to her with your own email channels. Now let's see how to award. So I'm not giving her an email ID. Often a lot of organizations doesn't want to provide email IDs to other systems, third-party systems, to including us. So we have ensured that that is not a mandatory field, and you can still use our systems without sharing private information like email. But in case you want to make your life easy, you should just go ahead and share your email. We assure you that your email will be totally safe, and we would not be misusing your email at any point of time. So that's it. A click of a button, you can see that we have awarded a credential for Anju M. Dominic, and the date is right over here. And if you click on view, you can see that the credential has been awarded. You can see that this is what we had typed. A certified superwoman is an award program to identify the best 100 women. You can write whatever you want or change it. Even now, this would get changed. You can see that the name has nicely carved in. The QR code is placed pretty well. You have all the shareability options right over here. And in case the awardee wants to add it to her profile, she can just click over here and just add it to her profile. Now, I told you that you will have to share this link. So this is the link that is available in the public domain. You can see that this particular link, you would be able to see the certificate. In order to share it, you can directly share it through one of these social media channels directly from here. Or we have an option that assume that you have many credit awardees, right? You always have an option to download an awardee details in a CSV file. So once you click over here, you will see that a CSV file gets downloaded, and though you will have the awardee names and the corresponding links to their credentials in this file. So this is very useful, especially when you're not giving an email ID to your of your awardees, and you want to do a simple mail merge using a CSV file. So you can actually use this option to download it. So I'm just going to download it and just see that. See, there is this credential file opened. I'll just showcase you on what this file is so that you can understand what the contents of this file is. So that's as simple. Email was not provided. The link is there. So now in your system, assume that you had hundreds of names over here and hundreds of links getting generated right over here, and you have not provided your email ID. Then you can actually copy paste your email ID column to here, and then you can do a simple mail merge so that you don't need to provide email IDs to our system. Now, I'll talk about another feature that is very useful, which is called the bulk award feature. Often it is necessary that you would have a larger set, say 100 or 200 or 500 or thousands of people that you would want to award at one go. So for this particular process, we have the bulk award section. How did we reach there is, this is your award page, and this is where your credential template is. We click on bulk award, and that's when you reach here. We have a beautiful wizard that would take you forward. The first thing is, in the bulk award wizard is a 4-step process. And in the first step, you have to download a sample CSV file. So let's do that. Now, once I download the sample CSV file, this is very much required because you have to update this sample CSV file in order to achieve your goal. That is, assume that you had hundreds of people and you wanted to award that. Now let's open this sample CSV file, and you would see that there are certain fields that are available, which I'll explain you or handhold you. The first one is the serial number, and I've given a few sample names. You have to take this down if you don't want, because these are just sample just for illustration purpose. Now, email ID of awardees, in case you want to give the email ID, you can directly provide it over here. The email would automatically get triggered to them saying that they have received this award. So that is one way that eases out your effort. But in case you don't want, you can leave it. The other section is about serial. Always a certificate would have a serial number on your end, right? If you have, you can put it. For example, certain learning credentials have a serial number which you want to keep as a record on your end. So you can update that particular number or alphanumerical string on that particular certificate number right over here. Again, all these are optional. The only mandatory field that is required in this is the name, name of it. Then any specific details about the awardee, which it's is respect to whether he or she where is she they are working, their designation, or why you are specifically awarding it. To give a personalized touch to every awardee, you can provide the information right over here. So let's use the same template. We have got three people, Ranjit, Arun, and Sheetal, and we've got some personalized content on which company they are working on. And we're just keeping the others blank. And let's see uploading this, what do we get. The next is step is once we have downloaded it, we have to edit the rows as I had showed you earlier, and based on your data you might want to remove the three sample rows and put the specific rows that would make sense or make value to you. So you should make sure that um, the name, right, that is a mandatory column. The other things are perfectly fine. And the name column should not have any commas, because this is already a comma separated file. And if you have commas in your name field, then the system would not work. So please ensure on double check and double review that the name field or any other fields that you have adding, there are no commas. You're not putting any commas, because it would not work in that particular case. And also you have to save it as a text file, CSV text file, and don't save it as an Excel or any other format, because the system won't recognize. So if asked, always save it as a CSV text file. I'm going to upload this file which we just downloaded. This is the file that we just downloaded. You can see that it's a .csv file, bulk award sample file, and once I've uploaded it, you would get errors in case if it's not in the right format. If it's not in the right format, please go ahead and fix it. So typical errors are that it's not in a .csv file, it is in another format, or you have not your columns are not matching to the columns that are supposed to be. There are commas in the field. So these are the common errors that you typically face. So just double check that. Or in case you are still unable to figure out, just push us an email. We'll be happy to help you out. But I'm pretty sure in most of the cases, you will be able to figure that. The next is you can see a preview of what data you had loaded. In this case, the three people, Ranjit DM, Arun P, and Sheetal Sharma, and correspondingly, we have updated their company names. You can add anything. It doesn't mean that you have to put your company name. You can put a personalized message of why they've awarded. You can put their designation right over here. So totally up to you on how creative you want to be. And just click on that, and your credentials would be awarded in a jiffy. You can see that the three names have been updated. And if I just wanted to view Sheetal Sharma right over here, you can see the credential being issued to her, and that's it. In one shot, you are able to award as many credentials as possible. So this is why Certify Me Online is very simple and easy. Once you create a template, which is also very simple, you can easily issue as many or as less as credentials you want. Now let's look at the options that we have in the credential system. We have view, which actually showcases the actual view of what the person might look like, might see like. And the second is email. In case you wanted to trigger an email to that person, this is where you can do. Assume that you had updated the email ID and she didn't receive the email. This is the place where you can click and an email is triggered to that person. In this particular case, we didn't add the email ID, so there would be no action. This is a place where you can edit the badge. For example, if I go over here and I can see that the name is there, if I have to do a correction in her name, I can do it right over here. I can provide the email ID. This is the company specific details. Assume that you saw that we added this using the Excel, but in case you wanted to change it only for her, you can come here and make the updates. The serial license number, which we also saw it in the Excel, this is where you can come and edit that. Now, there's a cool feature that I wanted to talk to you. Now, assume that you wanted to link this credential with Sheetal Sharma's, say, passport number. So, in that particular case, I can actually go ahead and say that I'm linking it to her passport number. And then I can assume that the passport number is, um, yeah, A123456789 Okay. And I put update a passport number, and I click an update. Now, the best part of this is that once I do that, I get a tile right over here. This is an added verifiability that our system has. Now, once Sheetal Sharma just assumed that this was a credential of great value for her, and she had received it after a lot of hard work, and she had shared it with her employer or with her future employer, and assumed that the HR wanted to verify, did Sheetal Sharma really receive this or not? Now they have an option to verify it. Once is she can actually showcase this web page, or give them the hard copy of the certificate so that they can scan and reach to this web page. But now the second step of verification is to ascertain whether the Sweetal Sharma that we are talking is exactly her itself. So this is where they will do it. They will have click to verify the credential. Please enter awardee's passport number to verify it. Now, as a HR, they would have access to her passport number or passport details, or always HR can go ahead and ask. Assume that the HR understood that, yeah, this is her passport number. They can add that and click on verify. Now you can see that her passport number was verified, and this has been successfully issued to that number. And this asserts that the same identity that the passport, or the person who's holding that passport, the credential was issued to that very same person. So this becomes a very useful feature for verification purposes, a very simple feature, but a very effective feature. You can link it to any of the credential documents, social security ID, passport number, your tax, PAN number, driving license, any ID, and you can update it accordingly. Now let's take the negative case. Assume that uh, we 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 change the passport number to some other number. Okay, I'm just going to put some random number over here, and let's see what happens in verification. So you can see that when the incorrect passport number was added, it screams that the passport number has been and the verification has been failed. So it's very clearly you can use this very strong verification feature to tie out credential to the exact person that would be awarded. So this is a very beautiful feature which you can make utilize it in your credentials also. It's again not mandatory to use it. It's an optional feature. Oh, I hope you are clear on how to use our credential system. We first started on how to create a credential template. From there, we created a credential. We understood how to award the credentials in bulk. Then we went on how to edit the credentials. And we talked about a very cool feature that is tagging a credential to a particular identity, or an identity card, like a passport, a driving license, or a PAN or a social security number. So I hope you enjoy our credential system. One of the key things that we have kept in mind is our credential systems are very easy to use. Even my 8-year-old kid uses my credential system. So it's kept in mind that it is very simple to use. Creating credentials can be done in a jiffy, and I hope you can issue these credentials to your awardees and ease out the way in towards issuing, and as you can use our credential system for automation. Couple of other points that I wanted to highlight is you can see how many you can award over here. For example, in my case, I have 971 credentials that I have bought. So I can award this. In case you wanted to buy more credentials, you can click the buy more button, and based on the amount, you have a chart over here. Now assume that I want to buy 1,000 credentials and I choose US dollars. I can, United States dollars. I'll be taken through a form in which I have to pay 500 USD confirm pay. Our payments are extremely secure. We use Razorpay, so you don't need to worry about that. We also would double ensure that the payment gateways are perfect, and Razorpay is a wonderful payment gateway trusted by millions, very large brands, and we ensure you that you would not have any problems using our payment gateway. And that's it. You can go ahead and confirm and pay, and it would take you to the Razorpay's payment gateway, where you need to put down either through your credit card or debit card. You can pay this particular amount. So that's it. I hope you would use our systems and create credentials. Each credential you create in this world adds in an extra smile when you give it or offer it to a person. So let's make sure we generate as many smiles as possible, because one thing that this world lacks today is smiles. And probably if you can generate those smiles by issuing the credentials by to your team members, you can issue it whenever you feel in your team, whether you want to give um, um, employee of the week award, or whether you want to recognize somebody on a particular task or a program that they had been worked. You can go ahead and use credentials. You can award it in conferences, you can award it for events, you can award it for award programs like just what we did. So there are numerous use cases in which we could just go ahead and give a pat on the back to your awardees, or to your peers, or to your, even your, sometimes in case you can award it to your supervisors, or even to your subordinates. So make sure that you utilize the credential system as much as possible, and issue well worth credentials to your awardees. Thank you for listening to my tutorial. It has been a great honor to talk to you and a great pleasure to interact with you. Do reach out to us at help@CertifyMe.Online in case you are stuck with something. We would love to handhold you in case you are stuck, and our team would be right over there. We always believe in serving our clients with a personal touch. Thank you.